Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you new here, my name is Donna, and for those of you not new, thank you so much for continuing to come back and support my channel. I appreciate all of you so very much. Today is an exciting day for me because I am doing a collab with probably my oldest friend here on YouTube. Her name is Diana. Her channel name is Diana Hoffmann Laursen, and she is from Denmark, and we met like right after each one of us started our channel. I think that she is just a fantastic creator here on the platform. She has, of course, grown leaps and bounds above my head, but she continues to check in on my channel, be my friend, and I appreciate that so very much. She is a Gerard Cosmetics affiliate. She is an amazing content creator here on the platform. She does a lot of tutorials. She also is pretty heavily involved in her Instagram account. I will have all of her information here in the screen for you guys. I really just implore you to go check out her channel if you haven't already. If you don't know Diana, please do go check out her channel. She is amazing. In addition to that, she is, like I said, she's Danish. She comes from Denmark, and she does do videos also in her native tongue as well as in English, and I just think that that's amazing. I watch all of her videos even though I don't understand what she's saying in her native tongue. I love listening to her talk in her native tongue too, and I've watched so many of her videos. I think I can understand her at this point. Maybe I should check off that language in my book of languages to learn. Like I've got it down. I don't understand her, but I think I understand bits and pieces of what she says just because I know her and I know her well. I think that she is also a lot like me. She is a mother. She is somebody who is in her 40s, and she does crazy colorful eye looks like I do, and I think that that is where we are very, you know, akin to each other. I think that she's just an amazing creator, and I do hope that you guys go over and see her, as she is one of my longest friends here on YouTube. So I'm excited to be doing this collab with her. I floated this at her and she's like, I don't even know what this is. And I was like, girl, check out Jessica Braun. She just did it on her channel. So I'm also going to link Jessica's channel down in my description box, even though we ain't friends, even though I'd love to be friends with her, but we ain't friends. She don't even know I exist. She did an alphabet tag, and I believe she did it by brand or by product. I can't remember, but I am doing it, and I have asked Diana also, you know, to collaborate with me on this and do her favorites by brand using the alphabet. So we go A through Z and talk about the brand that we love and maybe our favorite product from that brand. For many of these, I don't have just one product to talk about, so there's that. Let's just roll into this. I think that you guys will enjoy it. I'm gonna go grab my coffee because I forgot it in the other room. Okay, so the first letter is A, and if you guys are any smidge bit aware of what goes on in my channel, you probably have this. My brand that I listed for A was ABH. So ABH is a brand that I totally stand. I've got almost every single one of the palettes that they've ever come out with since I started in YouTube 3 years ago. I think the only one I don't have is Amrezy, if I'm honest. Makeup by Mario kind of predated me. That was before my time. In addition to that, I have picked up things like their foundation, which is a beautiful foundation. I also have their eye primer. I also have their powder. Who is this? Like, look at how big this thing of powder is. Like, you will never have to buy powder again in your life. And I've heard that this is an amazing powder. I haven't tried it yet. And then, of course, their palettes. Like, I just have a few from my collection here. And I have to tell you, you can definitely count on the quality of these palettes. This one is probably my most used, but it's one of the first ones that I ever got, and I know that it doesn't look like it's most used to you guys, but when I look at it as opposed to some of the other palettes in my collection, I can tell you this is my most used palette. It is kind of destroyed in there. I just love ABH. I just love ABH, and there's not much I can say about that. So I didn't have really one thing to bring to the table regarding this brand, just that I love this brand. For B, I have Becca. Becca has some pretty amazing products as well, but some of the things that really scream to me when I think about Becca are things like they have a foundation that I truly love. It's called the Skin Love Foundation. I don't have that currently in my collection. I did empty it this year, but they also have things like the Under Eye Brightening Corrector is what it is called, and this is what it looks like. This is the fair to medium, and you guys, this does amazing things to help correct your under eye. We all know I struggle from some crazy under eye discoloration and baggage, and I can wear this with or without makeup on top of it, and it does a really good job of correcting my under eye colors. The other thing that I really want to talk about are these are the Shimmering Skin Perfectors, and this one is in Prismatic Amethyst. It looks like a white, but it's really a beautiful like lavender toned highlight. But you guys, I have probably 9 of these next to Ofra. These are used and loved and have in my collection as far as highlighters go. This one is in Prosecco Pop. This is, I think, the first one that I received from Becca as far as these guys, and I fell in love with these because of the packaging initially. That's what drew me to them initially. And if you guys have been around a while, there was a creator here on the platform. Her name is Liv. Her channel name was Liv Loves Her Makeup, and she collected these guys, and I kind of got into a place where I collected them as well. So I have these big ones. I have the little light chaser guys. They are just really beautiful highlighters on your face, and for a person who has maybe a lot of texture or, you know, aging skin, these just melt into your skin so well. They don't emphasize any kind of texture on your skin. For C, we have Clinique, and Clinique might be one of those brands that not a lot of people think about when they think of favorite brands, but Clinique is a favorite for me because they have my favorite toner and they have one of my all-time favorite blushes. My favorite toner is this Clinique Clarifying Lotion. This is a twice-a-day exfoliator, so it's nice enough to your skin that you can use it multiple times a day. I really love this. This is the first time I've ever used a toner to almost completion, and I bought a backup of this. In addition to that, they have one of my all-time favorite blushes, and these are the Clinique Cheek Pops. I do have just with me this number 10 Fig Pop, and this one is number 14 Heather Pop. Just beautiful blushes that last forever on your face. My face likes to eat blushes. It doesn't eat this. In addition to that, they also make my favorite cleansing balm, which is the Take the Day Off cleansing balm. I don't have that in the room with me, but it is a really nice cleansing balm that I can use over the top of all my makeup, including my eye makeup. It just takes everything off so effortlessly, and it's my favorite first cleanse.
Now that I've done everything but change out my whole entire camera system, I think that we're good. My card was full, so I had to replace the card. Again, I'm sorry if it looks different in here. The lighting's a little bit different. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Let's move on to D. For D, I have Dr. Brandt. Now, this might be a little bit of a controversial one because it's not makeup, but there are pieces of this brand that are makeup that are amazing also to your skin. So I'm gonna go with Dr. Brandt. Please don't come for me. To start though, I do have some skincare things that I'd like to talk about honestly from this brand. I do have both the pore dermabrasion and the microdermabrasion from this brand. I love both of these. This blue one is a little bit more gentle to your skin, so if you're going to use an everyday exfoliator, I would use this one. This one I use maybe once or twice a week, if that, because it's a lot more savage. It takes care of your skin in a way that is just a little less gentle than the blue one. The makeup products that I really like to pull from this brand are the Dr. Brandt Needles No More Baggage Eye Depuffing Gel. I really filter this into a makeup item because the shade of it is like an orange. So it kind of gives a little bit of a color correction to it once you have it on. It's something that you just pop onto your under eyes, and it works really, really well for depuffing your eyes. I think that it is an amazing eye depuffer. As a matter of fact, when people ask me what they can use to depuff their eyes, this is one of the biggest ones that I go for, and this is probably my number one from this brand, is this Pores No More Luminizer Primer. You guys, this primer is amazing. It goes on my skin, and everything that goes on top of it, it just is beautiful. Like, I can't say enough about this primer. This is not a cheap primer, but this is a beautiful primer. And I have to be honest with you, I have somehow kept it in my collection for a couple of years now without ever having to pay for it. It is a beauty box staple. Matter of fact, these guys also came from beauty boxes. So Dr. Brandt, if you can get your hands on this primer, it's the best primer out there in my humble opinion. And it has properties in it that also make it good to your skin. For letter E, I do have Essence. Essence as a brand is not one that you would think that I typically steer towards, because it is a drugstore brand.
I'm a little bit high maintenance, I'm a little bit medium bougie.
So I don't typically go towards drugstore when I'm out there shopping for makeup, but Essence has some really great products. So one of the things that I'd like to call attention to is their satin blushes. I think their satin touch blushes are beautiful. This is so silky on your fingers, and like, look at the pigmentation on this guy. I think it's just so pretty, and it leaves a little bit of a sheeniness to it, so that helps to like almost blur the texture on your cheeks, which I give props to. I am, you know, in my 40s. I have aging skin. I do have some texture. Even though my skin is good, I do have some texture, so I love that. But my favorite mascara on the planet is the Essence Lash Princess. And this one is the waterproof version, but they also have a non-waterproof version. All their mascaras that come in this cute little, like, almost potion jar looking mascara tube are amazing mascaras. So this isn't the one I'm wearing today, but these mascaras, they're like $5, and they go on, they create the most voluminous, beautiful lashes ever. It's the only mascara that I have in my collection, besides like super high-end or luxury mascaras, that I don't have to really layer with another mascara to get it where I want it to be. There's very few in my collection that are like that, and this Essence Lash Princess $5 mascara is one that's like that. For F, my answer would be Fenty. And Fenty is a brand that kind of came out of the gate with so much attention, because they came out of the gate with foundations. They had 50 shades. It's an incredible brand. I do have quite a few items from Fenty, but my favorite would have to be the Fenty Kilowatt highlighters. These guys are amazing. So this one is my favorite, and it is Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal, and you guys can see Fire Crystal is hella used. It's got quite a bit of a divot in there. I'm surprised I have not hit pan on this, because look at that highlighter. I mean, it is just stunning. It is a stunning highlighter. It is so soft. It feels so good on your skin. It also doesn't emphasize texture. A lot of powdered highlighters do it. But in addition to that, like, I have her hydrating foundation, which I think is amazing. I have some eyeshadows with it. I have a bronzer by her that is so beautiful. I'm interested in trying her cream products, but I haven't quite gotten there yet. G. My answer for G is Giorgio Armani. So I discovered Giorgio Armani as a brand this year, and one of my favorite products I don't actually have here to show you, but I will put a picture of it in the screen here. First, I want to talk to you about this. So this is one of the Giorgio Armani Lip Maestros, and these are so comfortable. They are a hydrating matte liquid lip, which sounds ridiculous, but it is true. They are so hydrating for a liquid lipstick, at the same time being a matte liquid lipstick. It makes zero sense. It really does. These will go on your lips, delivering like a super intense color and a super velvety color. They dry down completely, so you're not seeing them transfer all over the place, but they don't like suck the life out of your lips, which I just think is fantastic. One of the reasons why I quit wearing liquid lipsticks is because they sucked the life out of my lips. There wasn't a lot that I could do to help revive them once I had been in a liquid lip for you know, an undisclosed amount of time. These have like a velvety gel like texture to them, so they provide kind of a like almost soft focus look on your lips. Not blurred look, but like almost a soft focus look on your lips. It's so crazy to me. And my favorite product that came from getting familiar with this brand was actually their concealer, the Power Fabric Concealer. This concealer is the nicest concealer and the easiest concealer to blend out. It's $34, but I don't really think that that's any different of a price from, say, my NARS one, or, you know, even my Benefit one wasn't that much less. I would consider repurchasing it. It's a very long wearing, medium buildable concealer that just goes on so effortlessly, so smoothly, blends so easily. If there is a creaseless concealer, this is it. You could blend it into a no makeup look and it would look like your skin. Not look like your skin so like all your discoloration or your peekaboos are showing. Not like that. It is a full coverage, blends into your skin kind of concealer. It is so amazing. If you guys can get your hands on it, do. So H for me is Hourglass. These are just two of the items that I have still in my collection that I can talk to you about. I have the Ambient lighting powders. You guys know that these are cult favorites all across YouTube. So I do have the Diffuse Light Ambient lighting powder. This is an amazing finishing powder. This was in my project pan for 2020, and I will probably carry it over into a project pan for 2021. It's just because I don't use powders, but that powder has the means of going onto your face and just melding everything together and making everything perfect, and it's like magic in a little tiny thing. That was just a sample size. This is also well, trial size, travel size, whatever you want to call it. This is also one of the Ambient lighting powders, and this is a blush in Mood Exposure. Probably one of my favorite mauve toned, natural looking, beautiful on the skin blushes. It is just so pretty. One of my favorite items that came out of this year was this Hourglass stick foundation. I do have the shade Shell. This is what it looks like. I think that it's a perfect match for me. This is probably my favorite stick foundation. Mini stick foundations come out and they're either too creamy consistency or too hard. This is just not that. It is a beautiful stick foundation that goes on so beautifully, wears so beautifully. I don't find that it is like moving all over my face like a lot of creamy stick foundations are, but I also don't find that I cannot blend it like some of the stiffer stick foundation blends are. For I chose IT Cosmetics because they carry one of my favorite eyeliners. I don't have, honestly, a lot from IT Cosmetics that I love. But one thing from IT Cosmetics that I do love is the IT Cosmetics Superhero eyeliner. I'm not a fan of the mascara, but I do love the eyeliner. This eyeliner was catalyst to ensuring that I was able to learn and then create effortlessly a wing. And that is something when I first started my channel, like I practiced and practiced and practiced because everybody was doing winged eyeliner and I could not do it. I couldn't do it for the life of me. I just love the shape of this. I think that it sits in your hand very nicely. It sits in your hand better than most other eyeliners do, honestly. I feel like with this like dip, it cradles in there and it kind of makes it so that the pen isn't going everywhere. I don't know what it is, but this eyeliner helped me be able to create a wing, and I just love a winged eye look on me. So this would be my favorite product as far as IT Cosmetics go. It's honestly one of the only ones that I love from them. For J, I do have Juvia's Place. Y'all know that I am a stan for Juvia's Place. My favorite items from them are the palettes. But you guys, I want to tell you that they've come out with a lot. Have their concealer, which is a beautiful concealer. I think that this concealer goes on super effortlessly and you get a ton of it. Look how big this concealer bottle is. Like, you get a ton of it for such a reasonable price point. I mean, just an amazing price point, really. They also came out with foundations. They came out with stick foundations. I have their stick foundation. This ranks right up there with the Hourglass stick foundation, in my opinion. I also have a darker one that I use as a contour. It just is an amazing foundation, so why wouldn't it be an amazing contour? It looks so naturally effortless on your skin. I also have a blush palette by them that I think is fantastic. I have a highlight by them that is also beautiful. Like, this brand, I will link up in the cards a video that I did about drugstore makeup. This brand is the brand that I chose when I chose if I could only use one drugstore makeup brand for the rest of eternity. This is the brand. Their eyeshadows are amazing. Their foundations are, everything they put together is just so high quality, and the price point is just amazing. Like 9 times out of 10, they will have a sale going on their website, and you can pick their palettes up for half off the price, which is pretty reasonable in the first place. For K, I chose probably what will be kind of controversial, but I think Diana will have a controversial one for J, if I'm being honest. So I chose KVD. I chose KVD because there are so many things from this brand that I absolutely love. For the longest time, her Shade and Light contour kit was my holy grail. Like, I used it and used it and used it. It's the only contour kit that I've ever used up. This is also one of my favorite products as well. This is the KVD Color Correcting Eyeshadow Primer. This I have found that I really love, like a stick primer, better than I love anything else. And I know that Sigma has these too. I haven't tried Sigma's, but these are amazing. I really love more of a stiff primer for my eyes than I do like a potion primer, like a Urban Decay Primer Potion. Not that Urban Decay Primer Potion is bad. I just prefer these kind of things. I also like the MAC paint pots as well. This is my favorite eye primer, to the extent that I bought a backup because I thought she was going out of business. Love this eye primer. It is my holy grail eye primer. Love this primer. Okay, for L, I have Laura Geller. This is also a brand that I think is maybe going out of business. I don't know what's going on with them. They quit selling at Ulta. Now you can only find them like on QVC or maybe in TG Maxx or something like that. But the Laura Geller spackle primers are my favorite primers. I've said this almost since day one of coming to YouTube. There are 9 different kinds of Laura Geller spackle primer. I have used every single one of them, and every single one of them is amazing. But it makes me sad because these are my favorite makeup primers, hands down, my holy grail. So these also come in 2 ounces for the same price that you're going to pay for, say, like an Urban Decay one. So I think that that is fantastic as well because they're bigger than most of the primers out there. And you can get this in a 4-ounce size as well. So check out QVC, check out my girl Laura Geller. These primers are amazing. M, I have Marc Jacobs. So I have a little bit of everything from Marc Jacobs. You guys, I will link up in the eye a full face of Marc Jacobs that I did. But some of my favorite products from him are things like his eyeshadows. I know that a lot of people have talked about Marc Jacobs eyeshadows in the past. These are 7-pound eyeshadow palettes for 50 bucks. Do I think they're worth it? I didn't until I tried them. These eyeshadows blend like a dream. They pretty much blend themselves. They go on your eye. They just look beautiful without having to really try. With that said, they don't come in a wide array of color stories. So the 2 that I have, this one I did pick up at TJ Maxx actually. This is Electric, and this is what it looks like. It was one that wasn't really up for sale for very long. As a matter of fact, the last time I talked about this palette on my Facebook page, or on my YouTube, somebody was like, I've never even heard of that one. Girl, me neither. I got it for 20 bucks at TG Maxx, so of course I'm going to pick it up. And this one is in Flamboyant. You guys will note there isn't a whole lot of differentiation between the 2 palettes. I think one has a pink, whereas the other one has a red. I also really like his blushes. This is probably one of my favorite blushes in my collection. This is what it looks like. You can get a little bit pinker, a little bit dirtier. It just depends on what you want want in a blush, and I love that about these. They're considered blush duos because you really can get 2 different tones of blush out of that. Another thing that I love from his brand is the sequins. This is a potted glitter, and this is what it looks like in the pot. This one, oh God, look at just how beautiful that is. It's kind of like this burgundy brownish color. It's just so pretty. I actually thought about using it on my eyes today, but look at how beautiful that is. It's just got so many different tones of glitter in it. It's just such a pretty eye glitter, and those are the kind of glitters that I like to wear because I know they're not going anywhere. For N, my choice, again, a brand that many of you should know is going to come out of my mouth before I even say it, but for N, I did choose Natasha Denona. You guys, Natasha Denona is a brand that I used to call Natasha Denono. A lot of people do here on the platform, and the reason why is because of the sheer cost of her stuff. Her stuff is so expensive. But with that being said, it is so worth the price, in my opinion. I have not had some of the problems that some other people have spoken to as far as inconsistency with her shadows. Some of the palettes that I pulled out were the gold, the lila, and the mini sunset palette. Like, this is my favorite on the go palette. It's my favorite like neutral palette because I feel like even with the 5 shades in here, you can get so many different eye looks. This is my favorite Natasha Denona palette overall, and I will go ahead and link my ranking my Natasha Denona palettes. Look at how beautiful this palette is. You wouldn't think beautiful because beyond this, it just looks like a neutral eyeshadow palette, but it is such a stunning eyeshadow palette. And then this is the first Natasha Denona I ever got. This is the Lila palette, and this was given to me by my kids. What I think is just phenomenal about this brand is much like the Marc Jacobs one that I was talking about earlier, just a few minutes ago. This brand, these products pretty much blend themselves. Like, you could literally put stripes of makeup on your face and then go over it with a blending brush, and it's going to fall into place the way that you want it to fall into place. For easily, and it didn't flake throughout the day. When I went to take my makeup off, like 10 hours after putting it on my face, it was still there as if I had just applied it. Like, there's nothing that I can say poorly about this brand. If there was one high-end brand that I had to use for the rest of my life, this one would probably be it. For O, I picked Ofra. Y'all had to know that was coming for one reason and one reason only. All of these are Ofra highlighters. They're all in different shades. I also have several of their like face palettes that have like highlighters, all highlighters, or highlighters and a blush in there. I do have a couple of their blushes. I also have several of their eyeshadows. I just had a palette roulette on their Glitch eyeshadow palette that I will stick up here that could double as more highlighters in your collection if that is what you're in for. There's so much more to Ofra that I haven't tried that I would love to try, but there are some, you know, takeaway products. Their highlighters, I would say, are 100% worth it. I do have some of their liquid lipsticks. They're also super comfortable, super amazing. There just isn't a brand for O that I think more so encompasses my love for makeup than Ofra does. For P, I did pick Pure. So Pure and I, if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know that Pure and I kind of have a love-hate relationship. Like, I either love the product that I have from Pure or I hate the product that I have from Pure. I have a contour palette that I just decluttered that I absolutely loved from Pure. It was an amazing contour palette. When I first opened it up, I was like, I'm never going to use this. I used the poop out of that palette. I loved that palette so much, but it just became an older palette in my collection, and I have to get rid of some things. It did have, you know, some moisture spots on it, and it had to go. Foundation in my collection that replaced my old Holy Grail foundation, the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation, is by Pure, and it is the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie. I don't know if any of you have seen Rob Beauty Christie's video where she is talking about this foundation and just raving and raving and raving about it, and to the extent that it kind of seems a little fake almost, or a little contrived. It's not. This is an amazing foundation, and it is super full coverage, hides all the nasties that you want to hide on your face, but also has this more like almost natural dewy finish to it. You open it up, it has a doe foot on the end of this that you can use to like spot conceal, because this is meant to be a concealer as well as a foundation. It has a pump. Like, I can't think of a more complete foundation in my collection, and one that absolutely looks beautiful on my skin. And this is coming from a person who likes more of a natural coverage. So if I am talking about a full coverage foundation in this fashion, you know I love it. So we get to Q, and y'all know I don't know of a brand that starts with a Q. If you know of a brand that starts with a Q, please let me know. I could come up with a product. So I did pick the Quickie Contour Stick by Benefit Cosmetics. It is my favorite contour stick. I'm not going to go too far into it because it's not a brand, and this is about the brands. If you guys know of a brand that starts with Q, please let me know. I would love to explore it just a little bit. R. This is a brand that I actually cannot stand, so you guys might be surprised by this, but this is the Revolution Pro Blur Stick. This is the only product by Revolution Beauty that I have not regretted purchasing. And actually, I don't think I purchased this product. I did get it in gratis. It's a product that I wasn't even going to open, that I was going to put in a giveaway, but for some reason I opened it, and I can't remember why. I love this primer. I have never like went straight in on my face with it. I just think that that's gross. I take a brush, I swirl it over the top, and I just kind of stipple that brush where I want the blurring to occur. So maybe like across my nose, my upper lip, my chin area, maybe in my like forehead area right here where I have my deep set 11s. Like, I use this to help blur the imperfections in my face, and I think that it is beautiful. It's super cumbersome. It's big. It looks like a deodorant stick. I don't feel like I will use this whole thing before it goes bad. It does have 1.06 ounces of product in there, but you guys can see I've been using this all year long, and the stick still goes down to here, and there's just not much that you use from this product in one shot. For S, I have Smashbox, and Smashbox has one of my all-time favorite eyeliners. They are the Always On gel eyeliners. These are the first eyeliners that I ever used that I fell in love with, because I can put them on my waterline and know that they're not going to move into the inner corner of my eye and create that, you know, blackened eye booger that you get from your eyes watering or whatever. My eyes water a ton. That's the other thing that I give these credit for, because they go onto my waterline, and no matter how much my eyeball waters, they're still there at the end of the day. For T, I have Tarte. I do have a couple of their palettes. Their Tarte Remix palette is what is on my face today. I cannot say that I don't love this brand. When I first came onto this makeup scene, this YouTube scene, I actually did a video about the makeup brands that I stan, and Tarte was one of them. Like, Tarte is just an all-around great brand. Do they have products that I dislike? Absolutely. I can't stand any of their complexion products. All of their eyeshadows go on so beautifully, so effortlessly. Their Amazonian clay formula is to die for. It really is. It doesn't really fade a whole lot, and they may seem like a little bit meh, a little bit boring, but you guys, they are consistent. They are a really great eyeshadow brand. And their Amazonian clay blushes, one of my favorites. I miss their blush books from way back in the day. For you, I have Urban Decay. So Urban Decay has a lot that I am fond of, honestly. Like, Urban Decay is a brand that is in everybody's mouth, right? Everybody knows about Urban Decay. It's not a brand that I wholeheartedly stand. Like, it's not an ABH brand in my mindset, but it is a brand that I absolutely love. When I started prepping for this video, there's one product from this brand that I absolutely could not talk about, and that is the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. This is my holy grail setting spray. It's a setting spray that I don't know that I could do my makeup without. I've used other setting sprays, and I've always hated how my makeup looked at the end of the day. This is definitely a setting spray that does what it says it's going to do. So it says that it's long lasting, up to 16-hour wear. It's lightweight, temperature control technology. I love this because it really does last 16 hours. It really does feel lightweight. What I would say is that it also mattifies. So if you're going to be using this, definitely make sure you're wearing like maybe, and you want a more dewy complexion, definitely make sure you're wearing a more dewy foundation or like an illuminating, you know, primer underneath that foundation so that you don't look as matte as you want to be. I am a dry girl, so matte isn't my thing, but this is my favorite, my holy grail setting spray. For V, I do have Viseart. Now I went back and forth with this because I have quite a bit from V that I really, really love. Violet Voss coming to mind. I really do love Viseart shadows. I have 3 palettes by them. So I have the Viseart Sultry Muse. I do have the Viseart Dark Mattes, and I also have the Viseart Petite Pro. And this is in Soleil. I have found that their little tiny pans of shadow do not differ from their big pans of shadow. This is my favorite all matte palette to use because it's just got some really beautiful neutral tones that you need in every single eye look, but all of these also just function so well together. I love that you can pop out the pans in this and put them into a big magnetic palette and not have 3 other palettes in your collection. Like all of these are made for the pro, so they are made to filter into a professional lifestyle more so than like try. Which is so stupid. Da, 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 da. For Z, I chose Zoeva. Started digging to you. I'm so happy to also have you here and meet you. I hope that you, if you are from my channel and don't know Diana, that you're going to go visit Diana. Tell her I said, hey, hi, how's it going? Tell her